I'm Auli'i and I play Moana in Disney's Moana.
And I'm Dwayne Johnson, and I play this guy, Maui.
The talented artists at Walt Disney Animation Studios love to hide inside jokes and references to other movies called Easter eggs. Lucky for you, some artists gave me the inside scoop. And now I'm giving it to you.
Okay.
So some of the best kept secret Easter eggs in the movie Moana.
Yeah.
So grab your fish hooks and let's see if you can catch some of these hidden treasures before they end up in the underworld. Like this one, the lamp from Aladdin.
Sparkly, shiny.
And there's the magic carpet. But in Moana, carpet is made out of tapa.
Of course, yes.
Speaking of Aladdin, did you guys know it was directed by the same guys who directed Moana?
Wait a minute.
Ron Clements and John Musker. You can even see them in the movie here, on tapa, of course. And here.
You're doing great.
Hi, I'm Auli'i and I play Moana in Disney's Moana.
And I'm Dwayne Johnson, and I play this guy, Maui.
The talented artists at Walt Disney Animation Studios love to hide inside jokes and references to other movies called Easter eggs. Lucky for you, some artists gave me the inside scoop. And now I'm giving it to you.
Okay.
So some of the best kept secret Easter eggs in the movie Moana.
Yeah.
So grab your fish hooks and let's see if you can catch some of these hidden treasures before they end up in the underworld.
There's something you need to see.
Here's Olaf in Moana's basket. Well, at least his arm, along with his nose. Better hope that Sven, who also makes a quick cameo, doesn't get into that basket. He loves carrots. And before I let it go, Marshmallow from Frozen is also seen lurking in the background of the underworld.
You don't play with the ocean. You command it. You fish now.
This next scene is an earlier version of what happened when Moana and Maui first entered the underworld, and they have a much more involved encounter with with an eight-eyed bat. Now in the movie, you see some eight-eyed bats briefly.
A flock of bats, almost.
A flock of bats, but there used to be one bat in particular that they had to
Overcome, yeah.
They had to get past.
Take this and split up. Follow my lead.
This is a very early scene in the movie where Moana had six older brothers, and there was a canoe race between Moana and her brothers, and this was a showcase for Moana's sailing proficiencies and how she really kind of outdoes her brothers.
We lost the brothers and we wanted to make her less proficient when she was sailing, so this scene went away, but it's a fun scene.
The scene went away, as did her six older brothers, and
they sailed away. Out of
somehow
the
she became an only child and probably is much happier as an only child.
Speaking as someone who has 5 sisters.
And speaking of someone who's an only child.
On your left, Dumu!
Go away,
say this race is boys only?
I see no reason for that. I've already beaten the middles.
Everyone beats the middles, but this time I'm getting Waka Roa.
Not if I get there first!
Ah, look at Waka Roa go! But is that Rongo right behind him? I knew he'd amount to something.
Oh, thanks, Papa Chief. But no, sitting this one out. Had some bad taro.
Then who is...
Moana?
I'm gonna be on that walk-up tomorrow. Nothing's getting in my way.
Hi guys, it's Lin-Manuel Miranda. Thanks for watching. I'm thrilled to show you a glimpse of a song that didn't make it into Moana. Warrior Face came a little bit out of the tradition of the haka, which is huge in sort of the Pacific Islands. We watched these amazing videos of these young women doing the haka and, you know, being really scary, like going from zero, like, hi, nice to meet you, to like, and like, it's incredible. And so we came upon the notion of, all right, they're about to face all these undersea monsters. Maui's gonna show Moana like how to face them. And it's also a bit of the anti-lesson. It's not about who you are inside. It's about putting up a really scary outside so that you can survive.
You're worried. I am too. I have no hook. You got a homing beacon of death around your neck. But I have a plan, okay? You just need to trust me. Do you trust me?
Not really.
I'll take that as a yes.
We've got a job to do, we need to survive. So you're afraid? Good, it means you're alive. No matter what we face, we run the show. It's time to use your face to let them know. Now take your fear, pain, joy, rage, mix them up together into something that the world still hasn't seen.
What do you mean?
Warrior Face. Ha! Show 'em you mean business with your warrior face. Put 'em all in line when you face challenges and dangers. You fix your face to face the world. Prepare your face to face the world.
Well, when we first started looking at casting the film, one of the things that Ron, John, and I felt was very important was to see if we could cast the movie with people that have roots in the Pacific Islands.
And we really went for the best actor we could find.
First, we get my hook.
Then save the world. Deal?
Deal.
I always thought Dwayne would be a great idea for the character
Yeah, we never
of Maui.
auditioned anyone else for Maui.
The biggest reason I wanted to be a part of the movie was it was the opportunity to showcase a culture that's very important to me. It was the opportunity to showcase my culture.
He has this incredible quality. He can say almost anything, and you still like him for it.
It's actually Maui, shapeshifter, demigod of the wind and sea, hero of men.
Particularly with the character Moana, we really wanted to get someone from the islands if we could. The trick was, in an ideal world, she'd be the right age, she could sing beautifully and act wonderfully.
We put out an open call around the world. Then on the very last day of casting in Hawaii, our casting director remembered somebody she'd heard.
We got to this one tape and it was like, wait a minute, it just, right there was something that
Stood out from the others.
You're trying to act like you know why the ocean chose you.
My people didn't send me. The ocean did. I've never done anything like this. I did backyard plays and I sang in the choir, but aside from that, this would be my first real role. It chose me for a reason. And the fact that I come from this culture, it feels so good.
Yeah. Probably our big discovery on the movie was Auli'i, and we were so lucky to find her.
You hear her in the movie and it's like the first 10, 15 minutes, you're like, oh, this is gonna be good. And then she starts singing. It's mic drop, it's game over.
One thing that the tech guys figured out early on, which was really a great idea, was to break Big Maui's tattoos into different quadrants. This would be a quadrant, this would be a quadrant, the belly would be a quadrant. and we could animate Mini Maui within those quadrants.
We had to come up with interesting ways. If Maui had to be on this side of his pec and jump to this side of his pec, Eric would come up with an interesting way to do that.
The first CG animator I worked with said, hey, I think it would be fun to poke Mini Maui in the belly. So he would say, my finger is gonna come in and make contact with Mini Maui on frame 17. So I would animate Mini Maui reacting from frame 17 forward, like reacting having been poked in the belly.
I'm going to get my hook. You have yours, and I'm not Maui without mine. Get over it. We gotta move.
I thought it was a dream.
Nope.
Making the ocean a character involved a deep collaboration between multiple disciplines.
Giving personality to water is a very difficult thing because there is no face. So we're trying to get an emotion through basically the shape and the timing of the water.
We didn't want to lose the idea that the character is the ocean and not that there was some sort of creature that's living in the ocean. So where the character will form a shape, interact, and then drop the shape, at that moment we'll just revert to a traditional simulation and you'll see the behavior of actual water, as if you had that shape in water and then we're able to release and turn on gravity for a moment.
With Moana being a teenager, we really wanted her to be able to play with her hair because it seemed like a teenager thing to do.
The animators came to us with the challenge that they wanted to be able to have the Disney hair in CG. So to answer that challenge, there's a piece of software we developed called Quicksilver.
One of the major challenges of the show was the types of hair that we had to support. We worked very closely with our technology group and our artists to develop a brand new hair system, which allows us to get this very realistic, dynamic, believable hair. And it has to react to wind, it has to react to water, it has to react to intense action sequences. We had the challenge of all this interaction that we never had in any other movie.
Did not see that coming.
My name is Neysa Beauvais, and I did visual development on Moana, specifically costume design.
Muscle up, Buttercup.
Moana's an adventure, she's a voyager, so what she's wearing has to be functional. You can't just put a pretty outfit on her, it has to make sense. She wore tapa for her top. With tapa, you take the tree bark off the mulberry tree and you go through a process like felt. You tap it on their wooden log. You dip it in the seawater, then you let it bake in the sun, and the more process you put, the softer it becomes. They're essentially making their own textiles. My name is Neysa Beauvais, and I did visual development on Moana, specifically costume design. Moana's necklace was a really cool piece to work on. It's a prop, but it's such an important prop to the storytelling process. You have to make it very unique. I did a lot of variations. We finally found the abalone shell. It's sort of covered in this layer of what almost looks like rock. But then when you sort of chip it away, you reveal this vibrant blue color that looks magical. It looks like a gemstone almost. And it was a great juxtaposition of land and sea, which is her. Her name, Moana, means from the ocean.
The directors and the producers and a lot of the animators and illustrators have come here not just once, not just twice. They've come over and over and cared enough to involve us in this.
Living here and meeting everybody, it's a great honor to be part of that.
We would pitch ideas to them. We would send them drawings of characters and get reactions to the way certain things look.
And they would visit us too.
And then I got to Disney and I went, wow, to see Mickey Mouse and hear the Pacific music coming on over the screen. Like, I was just burst into tears.
And we made changes all along the way based on the input that we got.
A real dramatic one for me was, for a very long time, Maui was designed bald. He had no hair.
A whole group from Tahiti were visiting the studio, and when they saw the character of Maui, they said, no, no, no. Maui has hair, he has long hair. That's part of his mana, that's part of his power.
When I came over to Disney and was working with them in the studios, it was more about hair.
Fiona had this beautiful hair that our animators were fascinated with because we really wanted to get Polynesian hair in the movie. So when Fiona was here, they shot extensive footage of her with her hair swaying and moving and turning.
I can't even tell you, it was just hilarious. No, I just had to wet it and then I just had to stand there and move it, and there's a whole team of about 20 people.
Hair in this movie, I think, is the best hair we've ever done, I think, because it literally grew out of her head, grew out of our heads and her head.
Moana has my hair, but the thing is I'm so generically Samoan that, you know, this hair belongs to all of us.
My name is Nisa Bove, and I did visual development on Moana, specifically costume design.
This one's my favorite costume. This is the cool one.
She's sailing off to find islands, and she's leading her people in this new voyage, and what is she gonna wear? I was working with the lead animator on Moana, so I asked him to maybe help me find a pose for her. And she was sort of looking dreamy and looking up, so I drew my outfits on her.
And I pitched my idea in the room, and it wasn't very well received.
They were like, she feels a little like she's not really empowered.
Did not see that coming.
So then we went back to the drawing board, and our character director, he helped me out with a pose, and she looks like a warrior. And then I showed the guys that were like, yes, this one's the one.
We did it!
And there she looked like she was ready to sail. I was trying to come up with something that anybody can look up to and say, I want to be like her.
What has two thumbs and pulled up the sky? You're Welcome was a joy to write because I already knew that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was going to be playing Maui. The thing that I loved about him, particularly in his wrestling days, is he could say anything and he'd have the crowd on his side.
See, I could go on and on. I can explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around.
And he's playing Maui, so he's a demigod. He's responsible for coconuts. He's responsible for the sun and the grass.
Yes.
I'm responsible for your life.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everything. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So I thought, well, what if he just meets humans and is like, you're welcome. You're welcome for everything.
What can I say except you're welcome for the tides, the sun, the sky?
I knew if Dwayne sings it, you're gonna be like, oh, thank you. He's so charming that you can kind of get away with giving him lyrics that on someone else it would sound egotistical, but with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you're like, yeah, that's the guy.
I know it's a lot, the hair, the bod, when you're staring at a demigod.
Opie brought in We Know the Way, and we started to kind of rework that song, and it just seemed natural.
Auli'i, Auli'i.
I come up with all this weird stuff, and luckily, actually, these guys go, yeah, that's cool. And I go, oh, really? Okay, I'll do it again.
All three of us, everybody kind of went to their area and created on that song and started to tie it together to what they were talking about in the story.
For 1,000 years we've sailed through wind and rain. We read the wind and the sky when the sun is high.
And then Mark suggested a chord change for the second chorus. And that happened in the first weekend. And it was that organic the rest of the time.
We know the way.
Sounds nice.
Okay.
One of the people we met along the way and became a consultant of ours is a young man by the name of Iglesias Ete. And Iglesias offered to put together a Pacifica Voices choir here in Fiji.
For me, it was really, how do we capture the Pacific voice? So literally, how do we get the sound of the Pacific peoples? Well, I've always thought that the person who put us together had to be crazy or a genius, you know, because one's from the East Coast, New York, one's from the West Coast, Carmel, and I'm roving down the South Pacific. So I thought, wow, how is this going to work, you know?
They drove us across part of New Zealand to go to this recording studio out in the middle of nowhere. We rode together in the car, the three of us, and we listened to music together. And Lynn was like a DJ back there, you know, and I realized this is going to be really great because all three of us know a wide range of music. So it's going to be very interesting when we sit down together and actually start writing to see what kind of stuff's going to come out of us.
Dun, dun, this is so great. Everyone's in the same chord. We're having so much fun.
Three of us, once we get together, we have so much fun. It's like three children, you know? Hang on a minute. Yo!
And we just bonded and we talked about music and we talked about Moana's story, and it was a great way to get started.
And they actually did lay the foundation there for We Know the Way, which is the first song we wrote for the movie.
It all just kind of jammed until we were making something that felt like it came from this part of the world.
Yeah, we can do a key change here and lift it up. So, you know, I keep
We're done. And then the other sort of thrill of that was finding Auli'i. There was a we were able to sort of push our musical storytelling even further because we had this ringer in Auli'i.
But the voice inside sings a different song. What is wrong with me?
Lin-Manuel Miranda literally come on board the day before. We had him hop on a plane to New Zealand the day after he joined us.
You know, this is pre-Hamilton. This is pre that whole phenomenon. I think I was one of many composers who interviewed on the project, but I knew I wanted to be a part of it as soon as I heard about it. Moana.
These guys just landed off the plane. Lynn goes up to the, got chosen to go up to the main stage there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I won a dance contest, which is pretty crazy because they were asking for audience volunteers.
And man, that really blew me away, you know? He goes up there and he just does it.
I was just shaking my hips to save my life, and that got me by.
Okay, animation fans, I've got some interesting Disney movie facts. The reason Mickey Mouse was drawn with white gloves was because Walt Disney thought that normal mouse nails were much too violent for children to watch. Many cartoons and movie characters have since copied this trend. When the first Toy Story film was being written, Buzz Lightyear's original name was Lunar Larry. And Pumbaa in The Lion King was the first character to fart in a Disney movie. What's your favourite Disney animated movie? Let me know in the comments below, and keep up to date on all things animation by subscribing to our channel and clicking on the notification bell. I'll see you next time.